Relax now and feel the surroundings, the soft weight of the covers, the easy rise and fall of your breath, the faint hush of the room around you. Let your eyes close if they want to, and let your shoulders drop a little further away from your ears. Before I begin the tale, a brief note. I structured this script using commonly recommended hypnotic sleep script elements: a gentle induction, breath and progressive relaxation, a deepening phase, countdown, or imagery that lets you sink further, a richly sensory core narrative, calming visualization and permissive language, and a soft closing that leaves you drifting towards sleep. These components are used widely in sleep hypnosis and relaxation practice to encourage deeper rest. PubMed Central +3 HYPN Othera.ai +3 Therapist Aid +3. Our story today begins at the edge of a whispering wood where moonlight threads through branches like silver ribbon across quiet grass. Close your eyes now if they are not already closed and take a slow, easy breath in, one that fills the belly like a small lantern filling with warm oil, and then let it go gently as though you are letting a bird glide out of an open hand. With each out-breath, let more of the day fall away. Feel the body become softer, slower, lighter. Now imagine yourself standing at the very edge of that whispering wood. The air is cool and kind, the kind of cool that gently brushes the skin and makes the hairs on your arms want to relax rather than stand. There is a simple path underfoot woven from packed earth and the dust of leaves, and it invites you to walk, not to hurry, but to stroll as if each step is a promise that everything will be all right. As you take the first slow step, notice a faint, comfortable heaviness in your eyelids. It's not an obligation to sleep yet. It's the pleasant beginning of surrender. Your hands are loose at your sides, your jaw is soft. The muscles along your neck feel like warm wax, slowly dripping into ease. With every step along the path, allow that calm to deepen. 1 step, a little deeper. 2 steps, a little more at ease. 3 steps, and your feet know the way, as if they have walked this path in dreams before. You can hear, somewhere in the trees, a soft rustling, leaves talking to one another in slow, secret sentences. A gentle breeze plays through their edges, and the sound becomes a lullaby. Imagine the breeze carrying a faint scent, lavender, old book leather, and the sweet smoke of a small hearth. Let each scent paint a small, warm picture in the mind, and with that picture, let the chest loosen and the breath lengthen. Our story today sets sail on this hush. We follow the path together, walking under a lattice of silver leaves. Above, the moon hangs low and kindly, a lantern in the velvet sky. It stitches pools of light across the ground, soft, round spots where small moths dance, like whispers of white. Notice how the air tastes slightly of autumn, soft and bright, and how the rhythm of your steps matches the rhythm of your breath. Inhale 1 slow. Exhale longer, letting the ground take any tiny tensions away. As we move, the world becomes more detailed in the gentlest way. You pass a hedgerow, and beneath it, a hedgehog curled like a small, peaceful bundle. The sight makes you smile without needing to decide to smile. Further on, you find an old stone well, half hidden in moss. Its rim is cool to the touch in your imagination, and when you lean closer you can hear, under the hush of leaves, the soft echo of water far below, patient and still. Water, like breath, holds a rhythm. Let your breath be that water, in, out, steady, slow. Now allow the story to deepen, like the path gently sloping down. Imagine 3 wooden steps, each one taking you a little deeper into calm. Step 1. Feel the top of your head loosen, as though a tiny string unties and the tightness unravels. Step 2. Feel that softness travel across the shoulders and arms, down past the elbows, hands letting go of imagined weights. Step 3. Feel that warmth melt into the chest and belly, and notice how your breathing grows even softer, like a tide drawing away, leaving only a warm, comfortable shore. Our little village appears at the edge of the trees. Thatched roofs sleeping under moonlight, chimneys breathing the last of their embers into the starry air. The village is very small, but it is kind. Lanterns glow at doorways, slow and golden, and a cat slips between stones, silent as a thought. You are welcome here, unhurried and unseen unless you wish otherwise. Walk on cobbled lanes that curve like questions that already have gentle answers. In the center of the village stands a great hearth in a stone house, its fire low and content. The crackle is soft and rhythmic, a steady companion. Imagine sitting on a wide, cushioned bench near that hearth. Feel the warmth, not too close, but a tender, spreading heat that presses itself into the bones and says simply, "You may rest." Your breath follows the fire's rhythm. A pause, a little bright intake, then a longer, slowly melting out breath. Each crackle from the hearth is a small, friendly bell ringing for peace. You are safe. This house remembers the footsteps that have walked its floors across seasons. And now it remembers yours as well, not because it needs to, but because it likes to hold the shape of peaceful people. A keeper of the house, an old storyteller whose hair is the color of soft ash, moves about in the background. There is no urgency in their presence. They hum a low tune that threads through the story like silver wire, and as they hum, your body remembers what it knows about letting go. The old storyteller pours a small cup of tea, chamomile perhaps, or a mixture of mint and honey, and though you do not need to drink, you can imagine the warmth of the cup in your hands. The act of holding something warm is itself a gentle kind of permission to be calm. As the storyteller speaks in a voice that is a hushed bell, you feel the texture of each word more than the meaning. Words fall like leaves, soft, sure, and decorative. Let those words arrange themselves into comforting patterns that do not require thought, only feeling. Now imagine a leather-bound map on the table, edges softened by many hands. The map shows the wood, the path, the village, and beyond, fields that slope like waves and a river that moves like a slow silver ribbon. The storyteller traces a finger along the river, following its lazy route. As their finger moves, so does a wave of comfort move through you, following the same path, gentle and inevitable. You are in time with that movement. You are allowed to slow more. I will count down quietly from 5 to 1. With each number, you may find your relaxation deepening, if you like, as naturally as night follows day. 5. A soft, broad exhale. Feel the shoulders a little lower. 4. A sigh like a small breeze slipping through curtains, the jaw softens. 3. You notice your hands and feet becoming pleasantly heavy, like small, peaceful stones. 2. The mind slows its chatter. Thoughts are like clouds drifting without force. 1. And you are settled, cradled by warmth and moonlight, ready to drift deeper if you wish. There is no obligation to sleep. There is only the invitation to drift, to let the mind visit gentle scenes where nothing presses, only the quiet companionship of hearth and wood and the slow, soothing earth. Picture a small boat tied to a near shore of that river, rocking in time with your breath. If you feel like it, imagine stepping into that boat and letting it carry you downstream, slowly, safely, each tiny movement rocking you closer to a place of soft dreams. Above, the stars blink like faraway candles, steady and unhurried. A single owl, patient and soft-winged, watches from a branch and seems to approve of your rest. Let the night hold you tenderly. Allow your heartbeat to be a soft drum, keeping time with the river, with the hearth, and with the hush of leaves. Our tale pauses here, not to leave you, but to let the quiet take over. If you wish to continue the journey deeper into the village, the fields beyond, or to follow the river under bridges of starlight, we will glide onward together. For now, breathe slowly. Let your body become more comfortable with each moment, and know that this story will wait for you, patient as the moon. You sit beside the quiet fire, its glow brushing softly across your cheeks, painting you in flickers of gold. The warmth settles into your limbs, coaxing any last traces of tension to loosen and fall away. Each crackle of the embers feels like a gentle tap on the shoulder from the night itself, reminding you that here, in this peaceful medieval dreamscape, nothing is demanded of you except rest. The breeze curls past your ear like a whispered lullaby. It carries scents of pine, faint wildflowers, and the rich sweetness of burning cedarwood. Every breath tastes like calm. You inhale, slow, gentle, and exhale. Even softer as the breath glides out of you like a small bird leaving your hand. Above, the stars seem closer now, so close that if you reached up, you might brush them with your fingertips. They shimmer like tiny lanterns hung from the ceiling of the sky, each one holding a centuries-old story, each one a spark of quiet magic. A soft rustle draws your gaze to the opposite side of the clearing. From the shadows, a figure approaches, but with no urgency, no threat. Their footsteps whisper through the leaves, steady and unhurried. It is an elderly traveler draped in wool, their cloak the color of moonlit ash. They move with the slow rhythm of someone who has walked through many nights and has made peace with every one of them. Their face is lined the way riverbeds are lined, naturally, beautifully etched by years of patient wandering. When they reach the fire, they lower themselves onto the other stool, the wood creaking softly under them. They nod in greeting, their expression warm. "You've found a good night to rest," they say in a voice as gentle as the river's lull. "You don't need to answer. Somehow your quiet presence speaks for you." The traveler understands without question. They hold out their hands toward the fire, warming their palms. And you notice that even their movements are relaxing, slow, fluid, mindful, the kind of movements that soothe simply by being watched. "For all our imagining," the traveler murmurs, "people often forget that medieval nights were quiet, beautifully quiet. No metal carts roaring down roads, no clocks shouting the hour. Just the world breathing." They close their eyes for a moment, as though remembering something fond. "You would not last a day in the real medieval times, of course," they add with a faint, soft smile. "The cold, the labor, the hunger, the danger." Their voice drifts like smoke. "But here, in this gentle place, you can experience only the peaceful parts. Only the parts that lull you. The parts we wish had existed everywhere and always." The thought settles inside you like warm tea. This medieval world is not harsh. It is the dream version designed for rest, for comfort, for letting go. The traveler lifts a small clay kettle from beside their pack. Its sides are decorated with etched vines and tiny looping flowers. Steam rises from the spout in a lazy curl. "I kept this warm," they say. "Care for a bit?" You nod almost without realizing it. They pour a stream of golden liquid into a wooden cup and offer it to you. Even though you feel no weight, no heat, only sensation, you can imagine the cup fitting perfectly into your hands. The tea smells of chamomile, honey, and something earthy, ancient, and calming. You take a small sip in your imagination. Warmth spreads through your chest, your belly, your arms. Your breathing deepens automatically. The traveler takes a sip from their own cup. The fire pops softly, sending tiny sparks floating upward like glowing dust motes. "You know," they say quietly, "if you listen, really listen, you can hear the medieval night itself talking." You tilt your head just slightly, and then you hear it. Not words, exactly. More like a hum. A low, soothing hum that seems to vibrate through the soil, through the river, through your bones. The sound is almost hypnotic, like 1,000 years of stillness, shaped into one quiet breath of the universe. You feel your eyelids grow heavier. The traveler notices. "It's the hum of old earth," they say. The hum of time slowing down. The hum becomes clearer the longer you sit. It's not loud. It's not sharp. It has the kind of sound that blends with your heartbeat until you not sure where it ends and you begin. You lean back slightly, letting your shoulders drop. Your body molds into comfort like clay softening in warm hands. The traveler sets down their teacup and reaches into their cloak. They pull out a tiny object, a wooden charm carved into the shape of a small cottage. Its details are faint but careful. A tiny door, a tiny roof, a tiny chimney. This, they say, is a charm of safekeeping from long, long ago. You don't need it to be protected tonight. But it helps some listeners drift even deeper. They place the charm on the ground between you and the fire. Tonight, this charm will do only one thing. It will pull your worries out of your mind, like threads unraveling from fabric. Gently, slowly, until all that's left is the soft, quiet weave of peace. The fire glows brighter for a moment, as if agreeing. You imagine the charm glowing faintly soft golden light, expanding outward like a warm breath, and then you feel it. The gentle tug. Not on your body, not on your chest, on your mind. A sensation like tiny strands loosening and floating away, threads of worry, of noise, of leftover thoughts from the day. Each one lifts like a feather caught in warm wind, drifting toward the fire where it dissolves into harmless light. The more threads leave, the lighter your mind becomes. The lighter your mind becomes, the heavier your body feels, comfortably weighted, grounded, safe. The traveler watches quietly. "You're slipping deeper now," they say softly. "Good, let it happen naturally." The charm pulses again, another warm wave, another gentle release. And you sink further. Your breaths are longer now. Your limbs feel draped in velvet. Your thoughts move like slow boats drifting downstream. Even the fire seems to crackle more softly, respecting your descent into comfort. The traveler leans back and folds their hands in their lap. When dawn comes, they whisper, this dream village will fade like mist, but you'll take the calm with you. That's the way these places work. Their words drift into the night like warm smoke. Above you, the stars shimmer more softly now. The river's lull syncs perfectly with your breath. The medieval night hums around you like a lullaby, written centuries ago. The traveler closes their eyes. You do not need to speak. You do not need to move. You only need to rest and drift and listen as the night deepens around you like a warm cloak. The fire crackles gently, weaving its warm glow into the cool darkness around you. Each ember pulses like a tiny heartbeat, steady and reassuring. The traveler sits quietly across from you, their eyes half closed, as though they too are drifting somewhere soft and far away. The charm between you glows faintly, breathing in time with the flames. You allow the weight of your body to sink deeper into the wooden stool. Your back softens. Your hands rest easily on your lap. Your legs feel warm and heavy, as though wrapped in thick wool blankets. Everything in this clearing invites rest. Beyond the firelight, the forest hums its nighttime lullaby. Leaves rustle softly overhead. Crickets sing in long, slow pulses. The river nearby flows with a gentle hush, like someone stroking fingers along smooth stone. Every sound blends into a peaceful music, the kind that helps the heart slow and the mind quiet, and the breath deepen naturally. The traveler opens one eye just slightly and smiles. You're beginning to hear it properly, they murmur. The night has a rhythm, and when you match it, the body forgets how to hold tension. You listen. At first, you only notice the surface, the crackle, the breeze, the river. But then there it is again, that deeper hum. A quiet ancient vibration beneath everything. As if the land itself is purring, content to support you. As if the soil remembers every step ever taken across it, and none of them were hurried. As if rest is the oldest language the world speaks, and you're becoming fluent. The traveler reaches into a small leather pouch and pulls out a handful of tiny stones, smooth, polished, each one shaped by years of tumbling along riverbeds. They roll them in their palm with slow, meditative circles. These stones, they say softly, have been carried by the water for centuries. They've been shaped by patience, by gentleness, by constant, steady motion. They hold out their hand for you to see. Touch one, if you wish. You extend a hand not physically, but in the dreamlike way the body moves in imagination and feel the cool, silk-smooth surface of one of the stones. It fits perfectly into the curve of your palm. You close your fingers around it, and then something shifts inside you, quietly, beautifully. It feels as though the stone carries a sense of calm that begins to seep into your skin. A stillness that moves through your fingers, up your arm, into your chest. Spreading warmly through your entire body, you inhale slowly. The calm spreads further. You exhale even more slowly. It expands deeper. The traveler nods. Good, stones like these don't rush. They simply exist. They accept every moment as it comes. And when you hold one, you remember you can do the same. You keep the stone in your hand, feeling its gentle coolness, its quiet strength, its softness born from time. Your thumb moves over its surface in slow circles, matching the rhythm of your breath. Each circle feels like encouragement. Slow down, relax, let go. The fire shifts again, as if responding to your settling. The flames lean toward you, warming your legs, your chest, your face. Their glow dances across the underbrush and casts soft shadows that sway like gentle spirits. The traveler closes the pouch and lays the remaining stones aside. People often imagine medieval life as nothing but hardship, they continue in a whispering voice. And in truth, it was difficult. But even in the real world, even in harsh times, nights like these existed, moments when the world softened, when people paused, when the only things that mattered were the fire, the sky, and the quiet between heartbeats. They gaze upward, and here, you get only the softness, only the warmth, only the rest. The wind curls gently around your shoulders, like a shawl woven from cool air. You breathe it in. It smells of dew forming on grass, of bark cooling under starlight, of the faint sweetness of distant apple trees. Your eyes grow heavier again. You blink slower. The world blurs in the edges. The traveler notices. Lie back, they whisper. This is a place for comfort, and so you do. There is a thick bed of soft moss nearby, lush, deep green, as plush as velvet. You lower yourself onto it, feeling your spine relax as the moss shapes itself to your body. Your arms rest easily at your sides. Your legs fall open slightly, without effort. The earth beneath you feels warm, as though it has been collecting the heat of the fire and now offers it to you. The traveler tosses a nearby blanket toward you, a woolen cloak lined with fur. It drapes over your body like the night itself, placing gentle hands across your shoulders. Good, they whisper. Now breathe with the river. You listen to the water. It flows in long, slow waves. You inhale during one rise. You exhale during the next fall. Each repetition feels easier. Each repetition feels heavier. Each repetition feels safer. The world becomes a soft blur of warmth and darkness. The traveler's voice is distant but soothing, like someone speaking through a dream cloud. I've seen many wanderers come through this place, they murmur. Some weary, some restless. Some unable to silence their thoughts. They pause, poking the embers gently with a stick. But all of them eventually find stillness here. Because this night is patient. It waits for you to breathe. It waits for you to let go. The fire pops softly, like a tiny star exploding in slow motion. Close your eyes, the traveler says gently. Feel the weight of your body sink into the earth. Feel the earth hold you. You close your eyes fully now. Darkness behind the lid swirls like soft ink spreading in water. Your breath becomes the only movement. Your heartbeat becomes the only rhythm you notice. The hum of the night becomes the blanket beneath all experience. And then a soft tapping. Not on your body, not on the ground. On the dreams forming behind your closed eyes. A beckoning. The charm at the fireside glows again in warm pulses, each one sinking with your breath. With every pulse, more thoughts dissolve softly, quietly, peacefully. The traveler leans back, watching you settle into deeper stillness. You're doing well, they whisper. You're drifting just right. A long pause follows. A comfortable pause. The kind of pause that invites sleepiness to bloom like a slow flower opening under moonlight. When you're ready, the traveler adds, the dream will take you deeper through the medieval night. There are fields and ancient ruins and moonlit roads waiting for you. But there is no rush. The night moves at your pace. You sink deeper into the moss. Deeper into the cloak. Deeper into the warmth of the fire. Everything feels soft. Everything feels slow. Everything feels safe. The moss beneath you feels warmer now, as though it has learned the shape of your body and begun to cradle you more deeply. Every inch of your back sinks into its softness. Your shoulders melt downward, finally free of invisible weights you didn't even know you were carrying. The woolen cloak across you is pleasantly heavy, not restricting, just enough to anchor you, like a comforting hand resting lightly over your heart. The fire glows steadily nearby, its flame swaying in slow motion. The light flickers across your closed eyelids, painting soft sunsets behind them. You hear the quiet pop of a burning twig, a delicate sound that feels distant, muted, as if wrapped in velvet. The traveler watches you quietly from their stool, the way one watches a candle flickering peacefully in a window. They seem to know exactly how your breathing changes, how each inhale becomes longer, how each exhale releases a little more tension from the edges of your mind. You're drifting beautifully, they say, their voice low and warm. The deeper you go, the more the night reveals. They lean forward slightly, placing another small piece of wood onto the embers. The fire catches it gently, like a whisper accepting a whisper. You see, the traveler continues, in real medieval times people feared the dark. They shut their shutters tightly, whispered prayers stuck close to their hearths. But this place, this dream version, contains only the best of it. The part where darkness is in danger, its safety, a blanket. A quiet, endless cradle. Their words seem to swirl into the air, mixing with the smoke drifting upward. You shift slightly, but even the movement feels slow and heavy, as though your limbs are made of warm clay. The moss molds around you in response, offering even more support, as though saying, rest. Just rest. Beyond the clearing, the forest begins to glow with faint patches of silver. Fireflies emerge, blinking like tiny lanterns carried by gentle spirits passing between the trees. They float in soft arcs over the riverbank, over the fern beds, through the cool night air. Their movements are slow, hypnotic, rhythmic. The guardians of the night, the traveler whispers, nodding toward them. Not real creatures. More like memories of light. You watch them with half-lidded eyes, the world blurring into soft shapes. Each firefly leaves behind a small trail of light that fades at the edges like sleep fading into dream. Slowly, they gather into a loose cluster, drifting closer to the clearing. A few hover above the river, their reflections twinkling on the water's surface. Others float near the fire, swirling upward like glowing embers. One firefly, brighter than the rest, drifts close to your face. You feel no fear, only warmth, familiarity. It hovers near your cheek, pulsing softly. And for a brief moment, you feel as though it senses the calm settling inside you, as if it came simply to witness it. The traveler smiles at the sight. It likes you, they murmur. They're drawn to quiet hearts. The firefly lingers for a moment longer, then floats slowly upward, rejoining the others as they drift toward the treetops. Their glow fades gradually, like candles blowing out one by one in a long hallway. You exhale, long and slow, the night grows even stiller. The traveler reaches into their cloak once again and pulls out a tiny wooden flute. Simple, worn, carved long ago by hands that understood music and patience. They run their thumb along its length, as if reminding it of songs it once carried. In medieval nights like this, they say softly, music wasn't something played loudly. It was whispered. Offered to the darkness in small drifts of sound. Would you like to hear a bit? You don't need to answer aloud. Your silence is enough. The traveler raises the flute to their lips. They draw in a breath as gentle as moonlight, and begin to play. The melody is slow and fragile at first. A single note held long and steady, like a feather floating downward in a spiral. Then another note joins, slightly lower, curving around the first like a ribbon wrapping something cherished. The tune flows like water over smooth stone. Every note seems to bypass your ears entirely and go straight to the part of your mind that governs rest. The sound weaves into your breath. You inhale, a note rises. You exhale, a note descends. Over and over until the flute and your heartbeat seem to synchronize. The traveler plays a sequence of soft, descending tones, each one slower than the last, each one deeper. Each one guiding you further downward, like a staircase made of sound. You imagine yourself stepping down those notes. One step into warmth, another step into heaviness, another into quiet, another into softness beyond thought, and another deeper still. Your entire body feels weighted now, comfortingly so, like warm stone resting in riverbed silt. Even the tiny muscles around your eyes loosen, your eyebrows relax. Your mouth softens into an almost smile. The flute continues its lullaby, drifting into an even simpler pattern, repeating gently, predictably, the kind of pattern that lulls the mind into stillness. Then gradually, slowly, beautifully, the melody fades. Not abruptly, but the way a dream fades when morning is still far away. The last notes trail upward toward the stars, dissolving into the soft hum of the forest. The traveler lowers the flute and sets it beside the stones. Good, they whisper. Let the silence fill in the spaces now. You listen to the silence. It is not empty. It is full of warmth, full of darkness, full of ancient, careful quiet. The river flows in the distance, moving with long, slow pulses that echo inside your chest. The night breeze slips gently around you, brushing your hairline, your cheek, the side of your neck. The fire sighs with its own soft rhythm, settling deeper into its embers. The traveler stands, their cloak falling around them like mist. There is a road, they say in a whisper. One that leads from this clearing to the old moonlit fields. If you wish to follow it deeper into the night, deeper into this dream, deeper into peace, we can go together. They turn toward the trees, waiting. You are so deeply relaxed now that rising feels like floating, like being lifted by invisible hands. Yet you feel no strain, no effort, only weightlessness. Slowly you open your eyes. The world around you is blurred by calm, edges softened, colors gentled. The traveler extends a hand to you. Not rushed, not insistent, just offering. If you're ready, they whisper, we'll walk into the next part of the night. And the night seems to lean closer, listening for your choice. The night waits patiently, as if time itself softens when you are this calm. You rise slowly from the moss, the wool cloak sliding from your shoulders like a sigh. The traveler steadies you with a hand, warm, steady, familiar, but only gently as though you're made of something precious. The moment you stand, the air feels different. Lighter, almost shimmering. The fire behind you settles back into a low, glowing bed of embers. It no longer needs to burn high. The night now keeps you warm itself, wrapping you in its deep blue hush. The forest opens before you like a cathedral of branches, illuminated by the faint silver trail of moonlight threading through the leaves. The traveler steps forward and gestures toward the path, a narrow strip of earth lined with pale stones. They glow with a faint bluish hue, as if dipped in starlight. "This road is older than the village," the traveler whispers. "Walk it slowly. It was meant to be traveled by people who are already half-dreaming, and you are. Deeply, beautifully half-dreaming." You begin to walk, each footstep soft, silent, barely touching the ground. The moss and fallen leaves cushion every step. The air carries the scent of juniper, wet grass, and distant rain, earthy and soothing, like inhaling the memory of clean, cool nights. The traveler walks beside you, their steps matching yours effortlessly. Their presence is steadying, like a warm lantern carried at your side. As you move deeper into the trees, the forest becomes quieter still. The hush is profound, not empty, but full of listening. Every branch, every stone, every patch of moonlit moss seems to be paying gentle attention. "You know," the traveler murmurs after a while, their voice barely above a breath, "medieval travelers believed that the night had layers. Like veils, and if you walked softly enough, slowly enough, you could pass through from one layer to the next without disturbing them. You feel it now, a shift in the air. A faint tingling at the edges of your skin, the first veil. It feels like walking through a cool ripple of water, even though the air around you is dry. When you step through, the forest seems to exhale. The leaves overhead shimmer faintly, like brushed silver, and the path brightens under your feet. The traveler turns to look at you, their eyes soft with understanding. "Good," they whisper. The night accepts your calm. You continue walking. The trees grow taller, their trunks straighter, older. Their branches reach outward with careful grace, forming arches overhead. It feels like walking through a great hallway carved by time, polished by winds and moonlight. The ground beneath you grows softer, covered in a thick carpet of needle-like leaves that feel springy underfoot. Each step creates a muted, pleasant crunch. The forest smells cooler here, touched by hints of mint and cedar. You feel yourself sinking deeper inward, deeper into rest, with every step. The traveler slows, then stops at a cluster of smooth stones arranged in a loose circle. "We're at the second veil," they say quietly. "This one opens only when the mind is quiet." They step aside and gesture for you to stand within the circle. You move slowly inside and pause. The air changes again, warmer, heavier, softer, as though the night wraps itself around your shoulders like a thick cloak. Your eyelids grow heavier, not with tiredness, but with peace, like the slow lowering of theater curtains at the end of a play. Your breath deepens without any effort. The traveler watches you with a faint smile, then whispers, "Close your eyes." You do, and breathe. You inhale, and the air tastes faintly sweet, like lavender warmed in a clay bowl. You exhale, and the tension leaves your body in a slow drifting wave. You inhale again, and the forest hums in response. A deep, gentle vibration, as though the ground itself is singing to you. You exhale, and your thoughts dissolve into the darkness behind your eyelids. Then the third veil arrives. You don't see it. You feel it. Like a warm hand placed lightly against your chest, not pushing, not pulling, just resting. A presence that feels ancient and protective. It sends a ripple of softness through your entire body. Your shoulders drop, your jaw loosens. Your spine relaxes with a long, delicious release. The traveler's voice drifts to you again, distant and soothing. Beautiful. The night welcomes you fully now. When you open your eyes, the forest looks different again. The colors are richer, the shadows deeper, the moonlight brighter. And far ahead, between the trunks of the oldest trees, you see them, the moonlit fields. They shimmer like frost even though no frost is present, waves of pale grass moving gently in a breeze you can't yet feel. Small white flowers dot the fields, glowing faintly, as if lit from within. The traveler steps beside you and inhales softly, as though smelling something nostalgic. In the old days, they say, People believe these fields were where the moon came to rest, where its silver threads touched the earth and wove dreams into the grass. And you see them, the threads, thin, luminous, drifting through the air like strands of floating silk. They curl around tree trunks, stretch across the path, tangle gently in the tall grass. Some drift downward like falling feathers. Others sway as though moved by an invisible hand. One thread floats close to you. You reach out very slowly and the thread brushes the back of your hand. It is warm, softer than mist, and it fills your entire body with a wave of calm so profound it feels like liquid tranquility pouring through your veins. The traveler watches you, their expressions softening further. They respond to peaceful hearts, they say. The calmer you become, the more the threads draw near. As if hearing those words, more threads drift toward you, shimmering strands descending like gentle snowfall. They wrap loosely around your arms, your shoulders, your hair, not tightly, just resting, just touching. Their warmth seeps into your skin, your muscles, your bones, until your entire body feels weightless again. Your breath slows, your thoughts slow, everything slows. The traveler steps forward, brushing a thread with their fingertips. "Walk with me," they whisper. "This is the part of the night that belongs only to dreamers." You follow. The path opens into the moonlit fields, illuminated by silver glow from every direction. Fireflies drift among the tall grass, their lights blinking in time with your heartbeat. The wind is soft, carrying a low melodic hum, the sound of the fields themselves, singing their ancient lullaby. The traveler gestures to a place where the grass has formed a natural hollow, shaped like a wide nest. "Rest here," they say gently. "This is where the deepest dreams come." You settle into the hollow. The grass bends perfectly beneath you, soft as woven wool. The moonlight threads gather above you in a slow swirl. The traveler sits beside you, voice barely above a breath. Close your eyes when you're ready. The night holds its breath. The moonlit hollow cradles you with a softness that feels impossibly ancient, as if countless dreamers before you have rested in this very place, letting the night soothe them into worlds beyond waking. The grass adjusts beneath you, shaping itself perfectly to your form, supporting every curve, every contour, until it feels as though you're lying in the palm of a giant, gentle hand. The traveler watches you settle, their expression warmed by the silver glow drifting between you. The moonlight threads hover overhead in slow spirals, drifting like weightless ribbons in water, gliding, curling, folding, unfurling. "Let them settle where they wish," the traveler murmurs softly. "They know how to guide the mind into deeper rest." One thread floats downward toward your forehead, brushing lightly, barely touching, like the faintest kiss of warm air. Another coils loosely around your arm, not binding, just resting. Another drifts across your cheek, warm as the last rays of sunset, and with each soft touch, your thoughts become slower, heavier, quieter. You inhale deeply, and the air tastes different here, cooler, sweeter, with a faint hint of warm milk and crushed lavender. You exhale, and your body sinks deeper into the cradle of grass, limbs loosening as though they're made of warm, gentle sand. The traveler leans back on their hands, eyes half-lidded, voice slipping into an even softer tone, one made for dreamers, for wanderers, for tired souls seeking rest. "In medieval times," they whisper, "few ever found places like this. They lived with constant noise, constant danger, constant alertness. The body was never allowed to drift this deeply, never allowed to unfurl like this." Moonlight threads gather around them as well, swirling between their fingers. But you found the space between worlds. The pocket of night where the moon keeps its oldest secrets. Their words drift into the air like warm steam rising from a clay cup. Let your breath fall into rhythm with the night, slow, gentle, steady. You follow without effort. Inhale a long, slow draw that fills your chest with cool silver light. Exhale, a releasing warmth, as if the night is pulling tension from you strand by strand. The traveler watches your breathing settle, then continues. "Good. You're already walking deeper into the dream layer." Their voice feels far away and close, all at once like a whisper spoken directly into your thoughts. The moonlight threads thicken above you, gathering into a slow, swirling pattern. You watch them through half-closed eyes, mesmerized by the hypnotic rhythm of their movement. It reminds you of smoke rising from a hearth, of flickering candlelight, of gentle ripples moving across a midnight pond. The traveler's voice returns, soft as drifting feathers. I'm going to tell you something now. Something few people ever heard in the waking world. They shift slightly, the grass rustling in a hush around them. Long ago, people believed that dreams were not produced by the mind, but woven by creatures nobody ever saw directly, only sensed. A moonlight thread floats between you both, dancing lazily. They believed the moon had weavers, they whisper. Tiny beings made of breath and thread, drifting through the night, stitching calm into restless hearts, stitching visions into sleeping minds. You feel something faint brush your cheek. A whisper of warmth, a shimmer of weightlessness. They aren't creatures with faces or forms, the traveler continues. More like intentions, motions, echoes. You close your eyes briefly and feel the sensation more clearly soft. Delicate touches across your temple, forehead, and brow, as though invisible hands are smoothing the worry from your skin. You feel them now, the traveler murmurs. They've gathered around you. The threads hover lower, some brushing your arms, others settling in your hair, another draping across your collarbone with the lightness of drifting ash. Your breath slows again. Your muscles loosen even further, sinking into the grass until you feel almost weightless. The traveler leans slightly closer, voice dipping into a deeper, slower murmur, the cadence of a medieval storyteller reciting by the hearth while the last embers glow red. Medieval villagers feared the night, they say. But they also respected it. They believed only those with calm hearts could survive wandering through moonlit places. Another thread drifts over your chest. Your breathing deepens. You've earned your place here, the traveler continues. You've walked softly, you've breathed gently. You've listened. You feel warmth bloom in your chest, spreading outward like ripples. Tonight, they whisper, you will witness what even kings and scholars never did. The moonlight threads shift again, gathering overhead into a slow, spiraling pattern. This time the spiral tightens, condenses, forms the faintest shape like a glowing cocoon or a seed pod made of silver light. It pulses, faintly at first, then again, deeper. With each pulse, you feel a soft wave of warmth wash over you, slow, rhythmic, hypnotic. Like someone smoothing a hand down your arm again and again. The traveler watches the formation with serene eyes. The moon is sending you a dreaming seed, they say. A gift, a story meant for you alone. The cocoon lowers until it hovers just chest height above you. You don't need to do anything, the traveler murmurs. Just breathe. Just rest. Just let it open when it's ready. The cocoon pulses a third time, and this time the warmth is deeper, seeping into your skin, your ribs, your spine, your mind. Your eyelids flutter, your thoughts drift. Your body melts further into the cradle of grass. The traveler's voice grows softer still, like a lullaby whispered between flickering candle shadows. When it opens, they say, you'll see a memory from the old world. A story the moon kept hidden from everyone who rushed through life too quickly. The cocoon pulses again and again. Each pulse slowing your breath, slowing your heartbeat, slowing your thoughts into gentle, floating shapes. In the distance, the forest hums low, resonant, hypnotic. The grass beneath you warms, almost as if heated by an unseen hearth. The moonlight threads tighten their circle around the cocoon. The traveler exhales softly. It's almost ready. A wave of sleepiness washes over you, deep, heavy, comforting. You blink slowly, and the cocoon splits open with a soft, silent glow. Inside is a vision. Fuzzy at first, shimmering like a reflection on rippled water. The traveler's whisper curls into your ear. Let it take you. The vision sharpens. Shapes emerge. Soft silhouettes. A medieval village. A lantern-lit street. The scent of warm bread drifting through the air. And something more, something waiting for you to step inside. The dream layer deepens. The vision unfurls with gentle slowness. Like a parchment being unrolled by candlelight. The cocoon opens fully now. Petals of silver light peeling back one by one each, revealing a deeper layer of the scene within. The glow grows warmer, softer, humming faintly like the purr of embers settling in a hearth. You blink once, twice. And the world around you dissolves not abruptly, but like mist fading beneath morning sun. The moonlit field remains beneath you only as a sensation, a softness, a cradle. But the imagery before your eyes becomes your new reality. The medieval village sharpens into clarity. A narrow street stretches ahead, lit by lanterns made of iron frames and warm beeswax candles. Their flames flicker slowly, swaying with the faint movements of the night air. Above, wooden balconies jut outward, draped in hanging herbs, sage, rosemary, lavender drying in loose bundles that sway gently. The traveler remains beside you, though their presence now feels woven into the scene, like a guide walking between worlds. They whisper, "Let yourself step in." Every detail is shaped for calm, for rest, for drifting. You take a slow breath. The air smells of wood smoke and freshly baked bread, mingled with the distant scent of early morning dew settling on rooftops. The aroma is thick and comforting, the kind of scent that makes your ribs relax and your shoulders soften. The ground beneath you is cobblestone, but worn smooth with time-rounded edges and polished surfaces that glisten faintly under lantern light. Each stone feels warm beneath your feet, as if the village holds within it the heat from the sun earlier that day. A soft wind slides past you, carrying whispers of fabric against fabric, gentle footsteps, wooden signs creaking lazily. "Not many people are here," the traveler murmurs. "It's late, most are sleeping, but the village remembers its stories. And tonight it shows them to you." You walk down the quiet street. The buildings on either side are made of timber and plaster, their walls uneven but charming, with windows glowing faintly behind closed shutters. You can almost sense the presence of resting families inside, soft breathing, pets curled near hearths, blankets pulled up to chins. Your footsteps make barely any sound. The traveler glides beside you, hands loosely clasped behind their back, voice a calming ribbon weaving through the night. You see, in medieval times the nights were long, cold, hard. People gathered around hearths not for luxury but for survival, and yet they gesture gently toward a nearby house, where warm light spills through the cracks in the shutters like honey. There was beauty too, quiet moments, hearthlit stories, soft songs. These moments are what the moon remembers. You turn a corner. Ahead sits a small cottage with smoke curling from its chimney in a thin, ribbon-like spiral. The door is slightly ajar and golden light spills onto the street, forming a warm pool on the cobblestones. The traveler tilts their head. "Go on," they whisper. "This is a memory meant for you." You step toward the cottage. As you approach, the sounds inside grow clearer, low voices, soft laughter, the gentle clink of wooden bowls being set on a table. The air feels warmer here, thick with the scent of stew simmering in a clay pot. You push the door lightly. It opens with no resistance. The warmth inside wraps around you instantly, like stepping into a wool-lined cloak. The space is small, but every corner is glowing with soft amber light from the large stone hearth. The fire crackles lazily, sending sparks drifting upward before they fade. A family sits around a heavy wooden table, two parents, an older woman with a gentle posture, and a child half asleep with their head resting on folded arms. Their faces are calm, unhurried, content. No one looks stressed or afraid. No one rushes. The only movements are slow and deliberate. A spoon stirring stew, a hand brushing crumbs from the table, a mother smoothing the child's hair with quiet affection. The traveler stands beside you, though the family does not see either of you. This is memory, not interaction. Even when life was harsh, the traveler whispers, there were moments like this, pockets of warmth in long winters. People survived through care, through sharing, through stories. Your gaze drifts toward the hearth. Its glow deepens, pulses, softens, and suddenly, as though guided by invisible hands, the dream shifts. The cottage melts away slowly, like painted colors dripping down a canvas, and in its place forms a wide medieval hall lit by torches. Long tables, wool tapestries, a crackling fire large enough to warm dozens. But this is not a grand feast. It's calm, quiet. People sit together in small groups, whispering stories to one another as they mend clothes, carve small trinkets, or simply rest with mugs of warm ale. The traveler gestures toward them. People found peace wherever they could. Soft whispers, warm drinks, familiar faces. These were their escapes from the difficulties of the daylight hours. The scene softens again, blurring, shifting. Now you stand outside, near a snow-covered barn. The night sky above is pale and clear, stars glowing like scattered seeds of light. Your breath forms soft clouds before you, but you do not feel cold. Your body is wrapped in warmth, cradled by the dream layer. A farmer steps out of the barn, rubbing their hands together, then gazes up at the sky with a long, slow exhale. The traveler murmurs, "Look how even the exhausted found a moment to breathe, to slow down, to look at the sky." The farmer closes their eyes, lips moving in a silent prayer or hope or wish. Then they pull a wool cloak tighter around their shoulders and walk slowly back toward a small house lit by a single candle. The dream shifts again. And now you are standing on a hillside overlooking the village. The night spreads out like a velvet blanket, rooftops glowing faintly with frost. A river glimmers like a silver serpent, winding between fields. The traveler stands beside you, cloak fluttering in a soft breeze. "This," they whisper, "is the truth the moon wanted you to see." They turn their gaze toward you, eyes luminous. Yes, medieval life was harsh. Harder than most could endure today. But even in those difficult times, people carved out small spaces of peace, of meaning, of calm. The moon above swells with brightness. And tonight, they say, you are walking through those peaceful spaces, seeing what they saw, feeling what they felt, resting as they rested. The dream layer deepens. You feel yourself sinking again, lower, softer, deeper. The traveler steps closer, voice warm and slow. Let the night carry you further. Let the story open its next chapter. Let your breath stay soft, steady, quiet. The world around you begins to shift once more, preparing to reveal the next scene. The hillside scene softens. The rooftops below shimmering like they're made of warm breathing light. The air around you grows thicker, gentler, almost velvety. And then, as though the dream layer inhales, the world folds itself into a new shape. The traveler lifts a hand, letting moonlight threads weave between their fingers like strands of silken smoke. "The night has more to show you," they whisper. "Step softly." This part comes from a deeper layer. You take a slow breath, and the world exhales into clarity. You now stand upon the edge of a medieval forest. Not the same silvered one you walked through earlier. This one is darker, older, full of towering pines and oaks whose branches twist skyward like ancient arms. And yet, it is not frightening. Not at all. The air is warm here, wrapped in the scent of pine resin and dew settling on leaves. A wide dirt path stretches ahead, packed smooth by countless feet over many years. Lanterns hang from wooden posts, glowing softly with beeswax candles. The traveler steps onto the path with that same fluid motion like a figure who has walked these dream layers hundreds of times. Their voice floats lightly back to you. People often think medieval forests were dangerous, and they were, during the day, hunters, wolves, bandits, storms. But the traveler pauses, turning to look back at you with a mild smile. At night, though, if you listened, if you moved gently, you could find places where even the forest rested. You follow them deeper. The forest opens in pockets, revealing patches of moonlit grass, small trickling streams and stones worn smooth by time. Every sound is softened, the distant hoot of an owl, the quiet shifting of branches, the whisper of wind sliding through pine needles. You move in a dreamy rhythm, your steps syncing with the forest's slow heartbeat. The traveler gestures ahead. Tonight, you'll see how the exhausted peasants found small refuges here. When the world felt too heavy, the trees part, revealing a clearing lit entirely by glowworms, thousands of tiny yellow lights floating in gentle spirals. The sight is breathtaking. Glowworms on tree trunks. Glowworms drifting like floating embers. Glowworms forming slow-moving constellations in the air. The clearing feels alive with a shimmering calmness. The traveler steps aside, voice almost reverent. A place like this was rare. But it existed. Travelers wrote of clearings where the night felt enchanted, where even fear took a breath and softened. You step into the clearing. A wave of warmth washes over you, immediately soft as a warm blanket placed across your shoulders. Glowworms spiral around you in slow, hypnotic arcs. Their lights blink in gentle rhythms, pulling your breath into the same pattern. Inhale. One light glows brighter. Exhale. Another dims. Inhale. Bright. Exhale. Soft. Your muscles loosen even more, as though the glowworms themselves are smoothing tension from your skin. A stone bench appears near the edge of the clearing, smooth, ancient, edges rounded as if carved by centuries of wind. Sit, the traveler murmurs. This is a resting place. One many people long ago wished they could find. You lower yourself onto the bench. It's warm, unexpectedly warm. Like a stone left in the sun, even though night envelops the entire forest. Glowworms gather closer, swirling above your knees, drifting near your hands, tracing tiny golden arcs around your face. The traveler sits beside you, their cloak trailing softly across the mossy ground. In times of hardship, they say, people understood the importance of small peace, a breath stolen in the woods. A moment alone beneath the stars. A pause between the day's demands. Their voice lowers, becoming more hypnotic, more melodic. You're experiencing now what they must have felt. A rare sense of being held by the night. A gentle breeze moves through the clearing. But this breeze is warm, like someone exhaling slowly across your skin. The glowworms drift with it, forming waves of light that rise and fall, pulse and fade. You lean back slightly. Your body feels heavy now in the most comforting way, like sleep is gathering in every limb, smoothing them into softness. The traveler watches you with calm understanding. You're sinking deeper, they whisper. That's good. The night is guiding you further. The clearing begins to change again, not abruptly, but with the slow, natural transition of a dream shifting from one scene to the next. The glowworms fade into distant stars. The bench beneath you becomes soft. The scent of pine becomes the scent of warm hay. You blink. You are now inside a medieval barn. Soft straw beneath you. Lantern light flickering from a hook overhead. Wooden beams arching gently like ribs of a protective giant. Animals sleep quietly in stalls around you. A cow exhaling soft breaths that sound like warm waves. A few sheep curled together in woolen bundles. A horse shifting slightly, its hooves thudding softly against the floor. Everything feels unbelievably calm, safe, protected. Barns at night held a special kind of quiet, warm, steady, nurturing. The traveler sits on a bale of hay beside you, hands folded loosely in their lap. You might not realize it, they murmur, but barns like this were sanctuaries. When storms came, when snow trapped families inside, when winter hunger crept near, people found warmth and comfort just by sitting with their animals. You listen. The cow lets out a soft, low grunt. The horse flicks its tail slowly. A sheep makes a tiny sighing sound in its sleep. The traveler smiles faintly. Even in the hardest times, the world had a way of wrapping people in small moments of peace. Your body grows heavier, sinking into the hay. Soft strands cradle your back, your shoulders, the back of your head. The scent of straw, sweet, earthy, warm, drifts into your lungs. The lantern flickers, casting shadows that sway like gentle waves on a quiet lake. You're close, the traveler whispers. Very close to the deepest layer. The place where dreams and old memories blend. You inhale deeply. The air is warm. Dusty in a comforting way, like old books. Like hearthwood. Like early mornings when the world hasn't fully woken. You exhale. Your eyelids grow heavy. The traveler rises and approaches a wooden door on the far wall. They place their hand on it, and the planks glow faintly with moonlight. This, they say, is where the next story waits, a story about resilience, survival, and the soft, hidden beauty of nights long gone. They turn to you and extend a hand. You're ready to step deeper. The lantern dims. The barn hushes. The dream layer thickens around you like warm fog.